Hey mama, are you feeling overwhelmed? Like no matter how hard you try, you're still not the mom you know you were meant to be? I get it, and I'm here to tell you you were designed for more, and together we can get you there. Welcome to the Nature to Nurture podcast. I'm Tiffany, an early childhood specialist, advocate, and mom on this journey with you. I've spent years supporting families and working with children in those critical first 5 years of life, where every moment counts. But here's the thing. The same caregiving practices that help 0 to 5-year-olds thrive are the very same practices that help us, as adults, live purposeful, connected, and thriving lives. It all begins with intention, mindfulness, and showing up for ourselves and our kids. In this podcast, I'll help you discover simple tips and practices for raising your little ones with intention and care, while also guiding you to become the caregiver that you've always wanted to be, the one that you dream of. Each week, I'll share stories from my own life, some practical strategies, and research-backed insights to help you slow down, reconnect, and find joy in the everyday moments. Whether it's creating a bit of time for unstructured play, setting up your nurturing routines, or taking care of yourself as you care for your kids. This is the place for you. If you're ready to embrace the kind of motherhood that feels aligned with who you truly are, be sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, and join our supportive community. We are here to lift each other up every step of the way. All right, Mama, let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, friend. I want you to take a deep breath with me, and I want you to repeat this. I am worthy of rest, joy, and fulfillment. As I care for myself, I create a foundation of love and energy for those that I cherish. Well, welcome back to Nature to Nurture. This is the podcast where we explore ways to bring joy, intention, and balance into parenting. Again, I'm Tiffany, and I want you to know I have been right there where you're at, feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and burnt out. But today we're going to explore how to transform that exhaustion into joy and fulfillment. I'm so glad that you are here today. So go ahead and grab yourself your coffee, or if you're like me this morning, get a nice hot cup of tea, and let's dive in. We're going to start off by taking just a minute to understand what parent burnout really is. Now, according to research, parent burnout is defined as a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. It's caused by prolonged stress in our parenting roles. Simply put, it's that feeling of running on empty with no relief in sight. In fact, I even think of it as a fire. Parent burnout, like you've used all that you had. There is nothing left to burn. It has burned out. Some of the common signs and symptoms that we know come with parent burnout include chronic fatigue that doesn't go away even after sleeping, emotional detachment or irritability towards your family, feelings of guilt or inadequacy as a parent, difficulty sleeping, changes in your appetite, and a loss of joy in the daily moments of parenting that really used to make you smile. Do you feel any of this too? If so, I want you to know that you are not alone. In fact, we know that nearly 60% of parents report feeling burnt out at some point. And here's the thing. Recognizing those signs is the first step toward healing. So how do you recognize burnout before it completely takes over, right? Because that's hard. Sometimes you get so far down into that pit of having nothing left to give that when you do recognize it, you feel like there is nothing that you can even do. But remember, that key is understanding, self-acceptance, like that gift I talked about recently, So we're going to start off by really listening to your body. Your body can tell you so much. Are you constantly feeling tired? Are you getting sick often? Or noticing that you've got physical tension, like maybe horrible headaches or back pain? If so, then I want you to tune into your emotions too. Are you feeling resentful about having to go home and parent? Are you feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, maybe even from your own children? And last, I want you to pay attention to your thoughts. Are they filled with negativity or guilt that you aren't the parent that you should be? If any of this rings true, it is time to seek support. This might mean talking to a trusted friend, a family member, or even a counselor. It can also mean asking for help. It might mean that you need help with childcare, household chores, or simply having someone to just listen to you. And don't forget, you can also support yourself during this time. What this means is actually carving out intentional moments to take care of you. Now, I want to share with you my own personal story because I know how isolating burnout can feel. There was a season in my life when I thought I could keep going, when I thought I had to keep going. But my body had other plans. I was extremely depressed, having suicidal thoughts. I was physically exhausted. I was losing a ton of weight. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning, with my mind racing, unable to get back to sleep. And then came this neck pain. It was so horrible that I couldn't move my head or my neck at all. And honestly, I felt like my body had completely given out. That was the breaking point. I am so fortunate that I had a loving family member who saw me and booked me a deep tissue massage. I thought I didn't have time, but you know what? They'd already spent all this money on it. I better go. And I was hurting. I was hurting so bad. And I'll never forget that hour that I had that massage. I literally cried the entire time. And for 2 days after that, I continued to cry. And I was paralyzed by exhaustion. But I also experienced a really big awakening during that. I had to prioritize myself. If I didn't, I would have nothing left to give to my family. That moment was so hard, but it also taught me that self-care isn't optional. It is essential. I could not continue going on taking care of everyone and everything else and not giving myself a look. I want to share this message with you. You deserve to care for yourself. So let's talk about some actionable steps that you can take to combat that burnout. And really, you can go back and you can look through many of my episodes. This is something I tap on a lot. In order to really be the best mom that you can be, you have to prioritize yourself. So what can you do? I've got 5 steps for you. Step number 1, start small. Even if it's only 5 minutes. Use those 5 minutes before doing, producing, creating. Use those 5 minutes to step outside, breathe deeply, or simply just sit in silence. Small moments can create big shifts. In fact, something I've mentioned in the past and something that I still do is when I'm starting to feel like my cup has nothing to give, I might be driving, feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, and I come to a stoplight. In that stoplight, practice your square breathing. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold that for 4 seconds. And just repeat that during the stoplight. That little tiny bit, 30 seconds at a stoplight, will really help you to give yourself a couple of drops in that bucket. All right, number 2, schedule some me time. I want you to actually look at your calendar and block off time that is just for you. It might be just an hour a week. Maybe you can do a weekend getaway, but I want you to make it a non-negotiable. I know that for me, I need to have that time each day, because if I don't, it'll be 2 weeks later and I haven't given myself an hour. And so I've made it a non-negotiable. I wake up in the morning and I have an hour of me time, so that way I can fully pour into those once they all wake up. All right, number 3, I want you to practice that self-compassion. Don't be so hard on yourself. Parenting is hard enough. And you're doing the best you can. This is your first time parenting. You are doing the best that you can. And as you are able to do better, as you know how to do better, you will. But right now, you're doing your ultimate best. Remember that. Love yourself. Number 4, engage in some restorative activities. Nature is so healing. Just being out and having trees around you, birds around you, fresh air, sunshine can do so much to you. So take a walk in nature, meditate, or if you can, go and do something creative. Maybe you want to journal. Maybe you want to do some watercolor painting. That's what I love to do. Maybe you just want to get out the kids' Play-Doh and mush it around in your hands. That's okay too. Squeeze it. All right, my last step is to remember to recognize those early signs. Pay attention to your energy levels and your emotions, and remember to address them early to really prevent it from getting worse to getting to the point where you can't even move your head to the side. And I want you to remember too, seeking professional help is a sign of strength. It is not weakness. Therapists and counselors can offer so many tools and support to help you heal. I know here in Colorado, for our early childhood sector, we have mental health consultants that are free for teachers and for parents with children 0 to 5 years old. And that's because it is hard to be a parent. We need that help. We need that support. And like I said earlier, when you know better, you can do better. But you aren't going to know if you don't have that educational piece coming to you. And those therapists, those counselors, they are trained in this. They have the information, the research to help you take yourself to a higher level, to a better version, to a more complete and full parent. All right, before we close out today, I want to leave you with just a couple of quick questions to reflect on. Number 1, what is one small thing that you can do today to show yourself love and care? Maybe it's going and making yourself your favorite tea. Number 2, who? Write it down. Who can you lean on for support in this season of your life? If you are feeling burnout right now, I encourage you not only to write it down, but send them a message and say, hey, can we chat? I need some support. In fact, I actually did this yesterday. I've got some personal things that I'm going through, and I'm recognizing that it's burning me out. And so I reached out to my friend and I said, hey, can we grab a tea? Can I come over to your house and just sit and talk? I really am needing some support. It's hard to do that. However, we all have been there. I know that if someone reached out to me, I would say, right away, I am there. Tell me when and where. Let's do it. All right, question number 3. How can you make space in your daily routine, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to help you recharge? And this is not a phone break. I don't want you to use this 5 minutes to jump on your phone. That does not recharge you. In fact, that's just going to get your mind going even more, and it's not going to give you that rest. So think about what is something that you can do that is low energy, that is purposeful, that's going to help fill up your cup. Take a moment to think about your answers. Write them down if you can. That's always a great step to really taking action. These small reflections that I just gave you can really help you head to some big changes. I want you to remember, you are not alone in this journey. Burnout does not mean you're failing. It's just a sign that you need more care, more support, and more love. You deserve to feel joy and fulfillment, and it all begins with the small steps that you are going to take today. I have just a couple of requests for you as we wrap up this episode. If you are looking for a community, I would love for you to come and join our Facebook group. I'll link it down in the show notes. This is a great way where you can come and you can inspire others, you can find the support that you need, and it's just a little way to remember you're not alone and that you too can fill up your cup. Also, if you know another mama who's going through some burnout, who's showing some of these signs, take that proactive step and send this to them. Help them to find the tasks, the activities that can help her to move from burnout to joy, and let her know she is not alone. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper into what you can do, I encourage you to go and revisit my gift series that I released at the beginning of this month. It's where I'm sharing a few steps to really help you climb out of that burnout and into joy and fulfillment. I recommend you starting with step 1 because, again, you need to recognize, right? Step 1, gift 1, is that gift of self-acceptance. Remember, it all starts with you. You are the foundation of your family's joy and energy. You need to take care of you first to really give the best to your family. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey today, putting my voice into your ears. I believe in your strength, in your resilience, and in your capacity to transform. And together, we can create a life of joy and fulfillment for ourselves and for our families. So until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you are worthy of love and care and rest.